Welcome back to a Talking Technical Bar. I've decided this week to just look at some monthly charts because the market is so unsure and I know everybody wants to get involved with these markets. So let's just pick a few charts and we look at the monthly chart. Remember, that's a chart that uses a point for every month's close and just see if we can get some guidelines of that. And why a monthly chart? Because I think there's many investors that say that the investment cycle will sometime in future turn around, interest rate cycles will sometimes stop, and inflation will come under control, and there will maybe be a little bit of certainty, and that's why they would like to get involved. Well, let's have a look at gold on a monthly chart. And remember, this chart comes from all the way from 216, and what do we see? And for me, it's quite simple. And remember, this is now monthly charts, and that tells me that the chart must actually close on a monthly basis above these levels or below these levels that I'm going to point out for you to make a decision. And this is all for the long term. Well, first of all, the thing about gold is it must get above this level, and that's above 1710. While it is below 1710, it just shows you that the momentum for gold is still to the downside. I know it's a wonderful asset. I know a lot of people would love to have that. For me, below 1710, unfortunately, it makes me nervous. Well, the other thing is I would like to show you this. And there's the trend line. Let's have a look at the long-term trend line. This trend line comes from 2015, and if that is correct, we can maybe see that gold actually goes down all the way to 1425 in time to come. And the reason why I'm saying that, charts tend to have a certain character. If it runs away from the trend line, like this, almost in a lamp-hole formation, it tends to work its way all the way to the downside to get eventually to that chart, that trend line. So for me, I don't say it's going to go to 1425. I really hope not it's going to go down to there. Because if it does go to 1425, I can bet you $1, the rand will be much weaker than what we're seeing now. So let's hope that it doesn't do that. And let's hope that it gets above 1710, because that will be a sign for us to say that on the monthly chart, gold looks a little bit better and wants to start to consolidate above this very important support line. Because what happens? If it breaks below 1710, we can easily say that this is a tower top. Now, a tower top is usually a negative formation, and a tower top is almost like a double top. And there you are, you can see it's almost an irregular double top. If that plays out, it can maybe take, there you are, if we just take that line and we extend it to the downside, it can maybe show us that gold can actually go all the way down. Oopsie daisy. If that double top plays out, it can go to 1450, and that's so close to that level that I've mentioned before. Let's look at platinum, and once again, monthly chart. What's the difference with the gold price warning us? The platinum price is actually consolidating. Let's have a look here. There's the top. That was close to 1208. I just want to draw in that little line there. There was the top. There's the bottom. It's a massive consolidation, but there's something to learn out of this. This consolidation is between 716 and let's call it 12 on a monthly chart. And if I look at this within this consolidation, we see this little line here, not too far from being tested. And this is a resistance line for the moment. Just want to draw it in there. And look what we see here. There we see a falling wedge inside this line. So for me, there's a few things here. First of all, we're stuck in a consolidation. At least the consolidation is mostly at the bottom of the price, not at the top. Like in gold, it was right at the top. This one is almost at the bottom. I see a tiny little falling wedge here on a monthly chart where with gold we saw an irregular double top. That's a warning formation. So for me, I'm actually a little bit more bullish on platinum than gold at this point in time. The reason being, if it breaks above this line of 926, that resistance line, we can maybe see this falling wedge come into play. Take the price all the way up to 991. Let's call it a beautiful $1,000, because we remember we're talking here about monthly charts. So a $3 or a $4 on a monthly chart really out of a price of 1,000 is really not that massive. So yes, maybe back to 1,000, but the big thing, and I can remember many years ago with gold, I think if I'm not mistaken, the level was why do I say $1,000? I cannot remember. But we almost had the same sort of scenario with gold, and we knew that if it breaks above that 1,000, it will rally. There was a beautiful inverse head and shoulder. Now I can maybe say to you on platinum, if it breaks above this line, that let's call it 1,200, we can see a beautiful bounce to the top. Because if that plays out, this consolidation that kept us going for almost 4 years can maybe break to the upside, and there you are. It can maybe go to, there you are, it can maybe go all the way up to 1678. So that's a little bit bullish. So it tells you that the platinum price at least is consolidating at these levels. Dear oh dear, we mustn't see the platinum price below 719, because then we can see a blow off in this price and maybe take it back all to $500 or $400. Let's hope that's not true. Let's rather be positive and hope that the consolidation breaks to the upside. Let us look at the silver price in US dollar. And there's a big discussion in the world about silver and gold. Some people believe that gold as a hard asset is maybe on a point of maybe going lower. And some people say that there's such a huge shortage in silver that silver can actually surprise us in time to come and actually become much more, let's call it profitable in trading terms as gold. Let's have a look at this price. Now, if we do see this, I first of all say to myself, I like this. Let's just have a look there. There's the trend line. Almost like a pivot line right in the middle of the chart. It almost trades around that. That's always a sign for me that something is on the boil. And that line is sitting exactly at $20.88. Let's make it $20.80 on a monthly chart. And in this consolidation that I'm going to show you now, there's the massive consolidation. Let's take that from there all the way to the top. Let's do that one as well to the bottom. And you will see what I'm showing you. And you will see that we're almost right in the middle of that. And for me, first of all, if I want to buy silver, for me, it will be above this line. And that will be, let's make it $21. Above $21 on a monthly chart, I will get more positive in silver at the moment. And if I look at these two charts, it actually tells me that maybe silver is looking better than gold. Because silver is almost at the bottom end after that spike. And gold, remember, was right at the top end and trying to roll over. So for me, first of all, it must break above that little, almost you can say, pivot line. Then what must it do? It must break eventually above this $28 to give me this beautiful rally. And I mean, if it breaks above 28, then it can maybe surprise us all, and silver can maybe go back to where to? Let's have a look here. Silver can then go to, can you believe that, all the way back to 42. There's something else that I like about this chart. And keep in mind that we're in a consolidation, we're in this pivot level, but what do we see here? And it's almost the same as platinum. See this trend line there? You also see a falling wedge. And if you now use a little bit of your creativity, you will see that this line will probably break close to that pivot line sitting at, let's call it $21. So above $21, it can maybe go all the way up to 25, and then it can reach all the way up to 28 or break out of this consolidation. So for me, it's quite simple. If I look at this chart, it says to me, we are in a consolidation. You need to be patient. You don't need to rush in, because the proper break to the upside will only be above this line. And then you can see a nice spike to the top. So let's hope that the silver bulls are right and the gold bulls are maybe surprised. But I think usually gold bulls and silver bulls, they buy the metals because they believe in the future of those metals. At the moment, out of the two charts, gold looks a little bit weaker if you compare it to silver. Well, let's close off this show with Brent crude oil and also a monthly chart. And I mean the whole world is looking at this chart, because this is the inflation driver of the world. And if I look at this chart, what do I see? The movement to the top is very strong. It is a strong move, I mean, from $23 to well above $100 to 120. For me, where will Brent crude give me the first sign of proper weakness? And that will be testing this line on a monthly chart, this trend line. For me, it is quite simple, and I will use only this level, and I will say to myself, if Brent crude oil can do us a favor and break below this line of $85 on a monthly close, only then I believe that the chart can turn around. Otherwise, momentum to the top is still in place, and above 100 we can maybe go back to 120. Thank you for watching Talking Technical. Watching our web, please visit our website www.fransdeklerk.com for more info, and we will chat again.